Welcome back. President-elect Trump getting a major legal victory over the federal government's cases against him. The judge in his election interference case granting special counsel Jack Smith's motion to drop all charges. But she dismissed the case without prejudice, leaving the possibility of the government to bring back the charges once Trump leaves office. Smith also filed a motion to dismiss his appeal in the Florida classified documents case, which Judge Eileen Cannon tossed back in July. However, Smith left the appeal intact for charges against Trump's co-defendants, valet Walt Nauta and Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira. President-elect Trump reacting on Truth Social, calling the cases against him as empty and lawless, saying that they should never have happened in the first place. Jack Smith cost American taxpayers more than $50 million trying to prosecute Trump. Joining me now is former U.S. Attorney and prosecutor Guy Lewis. Guy, thanks very much for being here. Give us your reaction of all of these charges being dropped.
Good morning, Maria, and happy Thanksgiving to all. So Jack Smith walks in yesterday, files his motion. Without a doubt, yesterday was Jack Smith's Waterloo, his legal Waterloo. These cases are gone, and it's not a surprise, Maria, to those of us who've been watching this carefully, because these cases, without a doubt, were built on legal quicksand, not on strong evidence, not on documents, not on witnesses, but on politics. And politics, as I've said over and over again, politics and prosecution do not mix.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not fair, and it's not right for, politics to be driving decision-making, because it leads to all this misinformation for the American public. People don't know what to believe.
Well, that's a great point, Maria. And don't expect necessarily these cases to be over completely. In my view, my prediction from today on is the investigators now are going to be investigated. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, that's not fair. Let's just move on. But look, Maria, when I was U.S. Attorney down here in South Florida, every decision I made on the big cases against mayors, commissioners, chiefs of police, Noriega, heads of government, they were reviewed up and down the DOJ flagpole. So my view is everything Jack Smith and his team and the FBI has done in this case is worthy of careful review.
Well, Judge Juan Merchan postponing Trump's sentencing in the hush money trial as well, granting Trump's request to file a motion to dismiss those charges. But New York AG Alvin Bragg agreed to pause the sentencing until Trump is out of office in 2029. And Georgia prosecutor Fani Willis' RICO case against Trump is also on hold after the president-elect's legal team appealed a judge's ruling allowing that case to proceed. The Georgia Court of Appeals is set to hear arguments on December 5th. I mean, Guy, I want to get your take on this because I spoke with Kash Patel on Sunday, and there is some speculation that he, being the former chief of staff of the Defense Department, that he could be coming in to the FBI. And I asked him his reaction to Pam Bondi being named AG. Here's what he said. Watch.
One thing. Exposure of corruption. Put out the documents, put out the evidence. We only have gotten halfway down the Russiagate hole. The people need to know that their FBI is restored by knowing full well what they did to unlawfully surveil them. The people need to know that there has been a de-weaponization, a defanging of the Department of Justice, and their houses of worship will no longer be raided. But they need to be shown the documents that said this was the reasoning they weaponized justice. And that, in my opinion, is how Congress can most importantly secure the trust or resecure the trust of these agencies and departments.
President-elect Trump nominating longtime ally and former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi to serve as Attorney General. Trump picked Bondi after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration, and Bondi has vowed in the past to prosecute the bad actors within the DOJ. Here's what Kash Patel said about Bondi's nomination. Watch. How do you believe Americans will regain trust in our most important law enforcement agencies?
One thing. Exposure of corruption. Put out the documents, put out the evidence. We only have gotten halfway down the Russiagate hole. The people need to know that their FBI is restored by knowing full well what they did to unlawfully surveil them. The people need to know that there has been a de-weaponization, a defanging of the Department of Justice, and their houses of worship will no longer be raided.
Guy, your reaction?
So Pam is as good as they come. Maria, she's tough, she's aggressive, she's smart, and most importantly, she's going in with a clear message from President Trump. A lot of people don't realize necessarily that Pam Bondi, as the Attorney General, will oversee the FBI. The FBI is under her in the Department of Justice. So she's going to go in with a sledgehammer, with a sickle, and she's going to make some fundamental change. And frankly, Maria, it needs it. It needs it. People do need to trust in this institution. It is a good institution. We need it. There are good people in the FBI, but there's also some bad apples, and that's what we've got to get rid of.
I mean, this is what we've been talking about this morning. Trump has been attacked with, certainly some fake stories like the Russia collusion story for 10 years. I mean, we're going on 10 years since he came down the escalator rather, in 2015 and said that he was going to run for president, and everybody, everything changed for him, where he thought he had friends in certain corners and they completely turned against him. But specifically with the FBI, the CIA, you've got John Ratcliffe now, director of the he's going to be the new CIA director. You've got Pam Bondi, if she's confirmed as AG, and we'll see who comes in on FBI. Could be Kash Patel. Is that group enough, do you believe, to prove to the public that, in fact, this is salvageable and they will regain trust in those agencies?
The short answer is yes, Maria, but they've got to prove themselves, and they've got to have results, and they've got to come out and they've got to show people in open. They've got to open up the doors and show people and admit this is where we made mistakes. Hey, the FBI shouldn't be making decisions based on politics. Bragg and Willis and these guys that have run on the very concept, on the platform that, hey, we're going to prosecute Trump. If I ever did that as a prosecutor, I'd be run out of town. I'd never do it. So that's what's got to be done in this case.
Yeah. Do you think these charges come back after Trump is out of office?
Dead and gone, Maria. It'll never happen. They're gone.
Yeah. And in terms of, the public's perception, I mean, the Democrats like to say that Trump is all about retribution. He just wants to, get people back for what they did to him. Do you think he's going to have those screams from the left throughout, because you do have, the leadership in these roles that perhaps will in fact mean accountability? I mean, these people have gotten away with all of this time.
You will hear it, and they will be screaming and yelling and all of the things that they do so well. But I'm telling you, it's not going to take this man, the president, off his mission. Listen, you can gripe about it, but let me tell you, he tells you what he's going to do, and then he does it. He has made clear to Pam Bondi and to everybody else who voted for him, and those who didn't, that he's going to clean house. And a lot of people, Maria, think that that's really what needs to be done here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Guy, thanks very much for your insights. Guy Lewis joining us.